Welcome back. In today's AWS production use case, we are going to discuss where the customer is having multiple availability zones where they have deployed their multiple NAT gateways because customer workloads is running on high availability in nature. All we know, the NAT gateway is the service to provide the internet to the private subnets. But having the multiple NAT gateway in different availability zones, it will add more complex in terms of the configurations. The customer's cloud engineer team, they have to configure very complex routing so that they will avail all of this high availability in nature. So to address these situations, AWS has introduced very recently the regional NAT gateway. Going by this approach, now customer or you can deploy only one NAT gateway, and that NAT gateway will work across multiple availability zones in one single NAT gateway. It will help you or your customer to have very simple set of configurations. Also, it will provide very good security and also the high availability. In today's sessions, I'll show you how to configure and set up this regional NAT gateway, which is new. Also, we'll discuss the high level architecture of this new NAT gateway and previous NAT gateway kind of difference. And also, we'll talk about the pricing model of this NAT gateway. Let's get started.
All right. So in the North Virginia region, I've already created the VPC. Okay. The VPC name is NAT Gateway Demo. And inside this VPC, I have created the subnets called NAT Gateway Demo, public and private. So you see the four subnets I have created. Okay. So this public first and public two, one and two, I have deployed in two different availability zones, right? 1A and 1B. Similarly, in the private subnet area, if you just go to the private subnet, you see private 1 and private 2. Those are also got deployed in two different availability zones. So I have got four subnets altogether, public and private, and they are running in different availability zones. So after that, what I have created routing tables, one for public routing table and other for private routing table. So if I can show you now, if I click public routing table and go to the routes options, you see this is the default routing. So all I need to do, I will create the internet gateway, okay? And then I will come back here and will configure the routing here. And then I'll show you how to configure the regional NAT gateways. That's something today we are going to discuss anyways, right? So before I'll go to the NAT gateway configuration, so let me create the internet gateway first. Okay, so if I just go to internet gateway and create internet gateway and give it a name like same um, NAT gateway demo, and let me create the internet gateway. Select this NAT gateway and simply you have to attach to the VPC. Our case, the VPC is NAT gateway demo, correct? And then click on that. So my internet gateway has been successfully connected to the VPC, right? And that's why it's showing attached. So this part is done. And then if I go back to routing table, which is public routing table, go to the route sections, click on the edit routes, add routes, all traffic, which is 0, 0, 0, 0/0. And then simply I should click on the internet gateway. Pretty straightforward, right? Save changes. Now we need to associate the subnet, right? So if I just go to edit subnet association sections, I simply need to choose the public subnets because this is for the public routing table and save the associations. All okay. So now the thing is we need to discuss the how to configure the NAT gateways, right? The regional NAT gateway configuration. So if I just come to the NAT gateway sections and then create the NAT gateway, we can follow the same name. Okay. And here you can see under availability mode sections, there are two options, regional and one is zonal, right? So this is new, okay? So if we go ahead with this option, then your customer will get this facility, like it will scale automatically, you see, across all region availability zones. That is something already I've discussed, explained. And also it will simplify the management for multi-AZ deployments. So let me choose these options, okay, and go to VPC and simply select the VPC and hit create the NAT gateway. I'm going for the public anyways, yeah. So it is done. So it will take a couple of minutes, probably takes 3 to 4 minutes, sometimes 5 minutes. So what I'll do, I'll take a pause and then I'll come back when my NAT gateway will be live, right? Will be successfully completed. Yes, so we back. All right, so all right, we are back. It took 3 minutes to be available this NAT gateway. So it is there. So now what we need to do, go back to the routing table options. And now if I choose the private routing table, go to the route sections, go to edit, select add routes. Again, we need to choose all the traffic, right? So that the private subnet traffic will go through the NAT gateway to get the internet. That is the whole objective, to have the NAT gateway. And from these options, this menu, if I just go and choose NAT gateway and simply choose this NAT gateway, process wise is same, and click save changes, and it's all done. But before that, we need to add the subnet associations. So this time, our subnet will be private 1 and private 2. Yes, and save the associations. So that's it. So this is how very easily you can create and configure the regional NAT gateway. Earlier, there are a lot of complexity, right? You need to create two or multiple availability zones NAT gateway, and then the complexity of the routing is also was very high. I mean, it was very complex in terms of the routing. So now AWS has simplified these configurations. But now I'll show you the high level architecture of this NAT gateway, what it was earlier and now what it is. So earlier, customer, they have to, they have to create the different public subnets and private subnets in different availability zones. That already we have seen that. Let's say this is the left hand side. This is the architecture. Let me take the pen and draw, and this is the private in running in different, availability zones. And for each and every availability zones, you need to have this NAT gateway, correct? So instead of two, now we have got one in this new configurations, right? Regional NAT gateway. So only at the routing level, in this routing, you need to define your next hop. I mean the NAT gateway, only this, for this also the same. And that's how the traffic flows. Very simple configurations process. Now, if I go back to the pricing section, so let me show you the pricing. So there are no such pricing changes I can see. So earlier, if you have only one NAT gateway, then you need to pay only one NAT gateway pricing. But if you go ahead with the multiple availability zones NAT gateway, right, using this regional NAT gateway, then AWS will charge you for those availability zones NAT gateway. That means if you have the three availability zones and you have deployed a NAT gateway in the three availability zones, using this regional NAT gateway, then you have to pay for the three availability zones NAT gateway. That means even though we are creating only one, but in case in these situations I have got two availability zones, but I need to pay to AWS to NAT gateway pricing. Okay, that's the trade-off, right? You are getting very easy way to configure. It is very simple. AWS has simplified, but if you would like to achieve this, you need to pay a little additional in terms of if you have the multiple availability zones, for each and every availability zones, if you deploy uh, this regional NAT gateway, then you need to pay for that. So this exactly it is mentioning here. Let's assume that you created regional NAT gateway spanning availability zones, and if you have let's say three availability zones, then you see that the charges will be multiplied by 3, okay, per hour. Rest everything same, remains same, like the same data processing charges, it will get applied. Data transfer charge, it will get applied the same way like previous NAT gateway still is there, like the normal NAT gateway. For normal NAT gateway, the same like NAT gateway hourly charge, then data processing charge, and then data transfer charge. Okay, so that's how it is from the pricing perspective. So that's all about this original NAT gateway. I hope you enjoyed this session, and we'll see you in next video. Thank you.
That's all for today. I hope this session was helpful to you, and I will see you in the next session. Thank you.